1370 WOCA.
Ocala. Auto repair with personal care. We know what we're talking about. Matt Gibbs and the guys over at Sunrise Automotive will treat you right. We'll treat you right.
All right, 5 minutes after 10 o'clock. If you have a question about your car or you're thinking about buying a new one, you might want to ask Matt some advice, and he's here right now. The number is 622-9622. Matt Gibbs is here from Sunrise Automotive, which is where I always get my car serviced and repaired. Hopefully the word serviced is more often than repaired. I like servicing better than repairing. Just my thoughts on that. And Crossroad Auto Sales also, in case maybe it's just not going to be able to be repaired, which is what happened to me too. And I got a nice car, knock on granite. Good morning, Matt. How are you doing?
Good, Larry. How are you?
Pretty good. Nice weather, huh? Oh,
it's wonderful.
I do need to get my windshield wipers changed. I never notice it until it's wet outside.
No, nobody does.
Then all of a sudden, it's like, is it supposed to look like that?
That even gets me.
Oh, does it really?
Yeah.
Well, nobody checks it, really. Do you?
I do check them.
Oh, do you? What do you feel for? Do you feel for like?
No, I just turn on when you know.
Oh, okay.
I hit the washers so you get some fluid up there and make sure the wipers can wipe off the fluid.
Okay.
That's an easy test.
So how does it get you then if you test it like that?
Because I test it and I was like, oh, I need wipers, but it's my car, so therefore I don't do it because I just don't have time. So then it rains and then I remember, man, I knew I needed wipers. And
what is that the one maintenance thing that we neglect the most? Is it with the wipers?
That's definitely a big one. And the Florida sun just bakes them. It just cooks.
It's the same sun everywhere on the planet.
Okay, all right. Explain that to an Eskimo.
It is the same sun. I'm just saying.
A Mexican
an expatriate? A Mexican expatriate? We were talking before we went on the air about the Consumer Reports list of the best cars right now, and only one of them was an American-made car.
I know, isn't that sad?
Is it still appropriate to say that? I mean, a Toyota could be made in Nashville, couldn't it?
Yes. And like Nissan, there's a lot of Nissans are made in Tennessee because my brother-in-law works.
Is it Nashville?
It's not too far from Nashville.
So do we stop calling them American cars anymore or Japanese cars?
They're still owned. They're Japanese companies.
Oh, okay.
So
do we have a Ford plant in Tokyo or in Japan?
I don't know. That's a good question, Larry.
But why do they build them here? Is it just cheaper to build them here as opposed to shipping them here?
Probably.
Because our labor.
I mean, I'm sure that there's I'm sure that they got that figured out too. Because I mean, they got to build a facility and
why? This is maybe more of a political question, but why build an auto plant in Tennessee? Nothing wrong with Tennessee, but why not make it in Michigan? Is it because of the taxes? Is
that could be?
Is that the big issue?
And the weather, maybe.
But Detroit was known as the car city, right? Motor City.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did they lose that title because they were just?
No, they still got it, but there's no motors there in that city. You know.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. It just may be that.
I'm guessing you've gone to an auto manufacturing factory.
I have never been.
You've never gone?
No.
I went to a Ford one when I was a kid, and I remember walking on a catwalk really high above the molten steel, and it was so hot in there. Your shoes you couldn't stand. They even told you don't stand still because your shoes will literally melt on that metal.
Wow.
Yeah. So you had to walk and look at it and get off of there. Yeah.
No, I had the opportunity once to go, but I can't remember why I wasn't able to go. I did go a lot to because I was kind of brought up in the GM side of things, so I got to go to GM like a testing and research facility.
Oh, right. Okay.
That was pretty cool.
Now, the one thing I remember from the actual assembly of the cars, trying to get rid of this echo here, was the hood wasn't closing on one of the Mustangs or something, and the guy literally had a mallet and just bang, 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 and then it fit, and they closed it and it worked, and moved on to the next station. So I guess that things are sometimes that simple, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you have that with car doors? You just have to tap them a little bit?
Yeah, sometimes people come in, the window don't work. You just tap the door and the window starts working.
You know what? I kind of don't like electric windows because when they break, they break. At least the hand crank ones, you could just... You didn't.
They break too.
I never had one break. Not the window itself, but I mean
the mechanism makes the window go up and down.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess everything can break.
Everything can break.
If something broke on your car or something sounds funky in your car and you want to ask Matt about it, you are invited to call. The number is 622-9622. I'm guessing the sound that a car makes is what people most likely tell you about, right? It's making this funny sound.
It's quite comical, isn't it, to people imitate the sound. And all of those, what does that sound again?
See, now that would be, your garage would be a good reality show, I think. Especially when you get customers coming in and looking at your face when somebody says to you, it's doing this.
You know what's really sad is when they make the sound and you know what's wrong with the car.
Oh, when you can tell.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Do they always imitate it or do they sometimes just describe it?
They describe it, imitate it.
It's making a high-pitched grinding sound.
Yeah, men describe it, women imitate it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's funny how I won't say all, but women will come in and they'll produce the sound, and men come in and describe the sound, diagnose the sound, and then repair the sound.
Let me ask you something. I'm not asking you to admit that there's a sexist approach on your part. I'm not asking you to do that.
Okay.
But do you find yourself surprised when a woman clearly knows more about cars than you would expect?
If and I've said this on the show before, if a husband and wife comes into my shop and let's just say it's the wife's car, she drives it every day, and she's having an issue, almost every time it's the wife's car, she drives it, she can explain to me what's going on with it, but the husband takes over the conversation. And then at the end, when he's done telling me what's wrong and how to fix it, I always go back to the wife and say, now tell me exactly what's going on with your car. And then she describes the problem.
Well, you know that lady who does the show with me in the morning? Her name is Robin?
Yeah.
She knows way more about cars than I do. Did I ever tell you the story? She had something going on with her car, and this was a sponsor on the radio show. So we went to them, and they had it overnight. And we went back, and they said, well, we can't find anything wrong. And the guy looks at me, raises his eyebrows, like, is there really something wrong? And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, if she's telling you there's something wrong, there's something wrong. She took her to another garage, and you know what it was? One of her tires had like a ball, like a blown out, not a hole, but a bubble.
Right.
And I said, how did he not see that? How did the first guy not see that? That's crazy.
That's crazy.
So, and that'll change somebody's loyalty to a place, right? Right. One mistake like that,
right? And
you would change your mind. You say, you know what? How did they not see that?
Right.
Because we, as the average non-car people, know. How come I got such an echo in here? Do you have an echo in your headset?
Yes.
I don't know why that is. Hey, there it goes. Does that sound better?
Yes.
Yeah, it sounds better. All right. The number is 622-9622. Yeah, all of the cars in the Consumer Report were Japanese. Nissans, Toyotas. Oh, one Kia, you said that's Korean, right? Mm-hmm. Do they make cars in North Korea?
They probably do.
You're not sure, though, huh?
No.
They don't export them?
No.
Do you know where I grew up in New York, there was a road called Sunrise Highway?
Really?
Yeah.
S-U-N.
S-U-N. But on Sunrise Highway, because I went to Facebook to look for to see if Sunrise Automotive had a Facebook page. Do you?
Yeah.
Well, the one I found is on Sunrise Highway in my old neighborhood. I didn't even know there was a Sunrise Automotive, and it is spelled like yours.
Yeah.
S-O-N.
Yeah, in New York.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've actually talked.
Oh, have you?
Yeah. But we're going to go to commercial now. And
here we are. We just gave them a commercial, unfortunately. All right, well, we will take a little break. The phone line is open if you want to ask Matt a question about your car or just talk cars, because you know what? Cars are cars all over the world. I just thought I would say that.
Cars are cars all over the world. Cars are cars.
We'll be right back.
All over the world. Engine in the front, jack in the back. Wheels take the punt. Opinion and a rack.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident on this Tuesday, a partly sunny, breezy, warm, humid day with a shower or thunderstorm around during the afternoon and evening hours. The high 86 at the coast, 92 inland. Later Tuesday night, mostly cloudy and warm, low 71 to 75. For Wednesday, variable cloudiness, windy and humid with a couple of showers and heavy thunderstorms moving through the area. The highs generally in the 80s. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
When Auto Owners Insurance was founded in 1916, the world was quite different. Yet with all that's changed, our commitment to be there when you need us most hasn't. By teaming up with independent agents, we've made a difference for generations of customers, and will for generations to come. And by making a difference every day, 100 years seem to go by in a flash.
Call George Mangan Insurance in Ocala today, 352-732-3191.
Have you heard of HyperDirectory? When looking for local businesses, go to hyper.directory. No need for www, no need for .com, just hyper.directory. Connecting customers to local companies when it matters most. HyperDirectory is your local business directory partnered with the Ocala Chamber and Economic Partnership to bring you trusted local businesses. Keeping Ocala local. Use hyper.directory. No www, not even .com, just hyper.directory. Connecting customers to businesses when it matters most.
60 minutes after 10 o'clock, Matt Gibbs is here from Sunrise Automotive. Oh, I found your Facebook page. Okay, you have to separate the word sun from rise.
Yes.
In their case, sunrise is one word. Your case, sunrise is two words. Well, there's your place. I recognize it. But see, their place almost looked like your place from the Street View picture that they showed. So when I was younger, I had a car that had a broken starter.
Okay.
And it was a standard transmission car, and I didn't have the money for the starter. And everybody told me, you just push it, jump it, and pop the clutch. And you know, Matt, I must have driven that way for a year. I would park on hills. I could, at that time, actually push my car, jump in, and pop the clutch and get it going. Oh my gosh. Does that happen anymore? Is it like an appendix where there are certain pieces that you really don't need? Like an air conditioner? You don't really need an air conditioner.
Oh, you don't? I really need an air conditioner.
Somebody really needs an appendix too. But I mean, are there some car parts that you really don't need? You could do without?
Oh, there's lots you could do without, but you don't want to. And it's getting worse. You know, technology and
yeah.
I mean, when you say car parts like that, I'm thinking like entertainment systems and stuff like that.
Yeah, you could do without that.
You could do without that. That's
Yeah.
like, you know, in your house, can you do without the internet? Well, I mean, we can survive, but
Yeah. I'm doing without the internet.
Huh?
I am doing without the internet.
Are you?
Yeah, it's $86 a month. That's crazy.
I know, but do you have a smartphone?
Yeah, but not
It's
that
not-
smart.
It's just amazing how when the technology comes and filters our everyday life. I fought not to have a smartphone. I had my old flip phone as long as I could, and then I finally made that transition. I became an adult, and
so your smartphone is your internet.
Well, I'm on it all the time.
Yeah.
You know, it's amazing how, I look back and I say, man, why didn't I get this thing 3 years before? And it's just makes life easier.
Did you hear about the inter-car communication thing? Alexa? It's from the Alexa line from whoever makes that.
Is that Google? Is that a Google?
I don't remember who makes it, but you call your friend in his car. Hey, Johnny, I just passed you. Hey, okay, how you doing? I don't know. The commercial wasn't that. The commercial was we're supposed to be following each other, and I don't know where you are. Where are you? Oh, I'm right here. And then she shows the camera. Oh, the Texaco. Okay, and they meet up with him.
Huh?
Yeah, inter-car something.
Technology.
Alexa. And you just tell it. You just say, hey, would you call Johnny, please? I'm lost. Hey, Johnny. And you pop up on the screen. Hey, Matt, I'm lost. I don't know where I am. Oh, I'm over here at the radio station. Oh, my gosh. Well, I'm in the parking lot. Let me come in, bring you your pizza.
Come on.
Good morning. You're on the air with Matt.
Yeah, good morning. The old the old 36 horsepower Volkswagens used to have a pull cord like on a lawnmower, so that if you couldn't start it with, if the battery was dead, you just got out and lifted up the hood and pulled it like a lawnmower.
What year was that?
These would have been in the early 1950s.
Wow, I'd never seen such a thing.
That's a good idea. We should have them now.
You could.
And the MGs had the crank on the crank start. I guess up to the early 60s.
Wow.
I think my brother had one.
And if you stop and think about it, from that wasn't all that long ago.
No, it really wasn't.
And just stop. If you go back and look.
Yeah, I'll hang up. Bye.
Thank you, Jim.
If you go back and look at where cars have come just in the last 50 years.
Everything has come.
Crazy.
I know. We had a guy on the show. He wrote a book. He's an author by trade, and so he writes these Western novels. But he wrote this book that's not like his genre at all. He bought one of the Tesla electric cars, not self-driving, just electric, and he and a friend drove it all the way from, I think, New Orleans to the Panama Canal. Okay, so up until the point where he crossed the border into Mexico, it was fine. There was plenty of places to get the thing charged up. Once he got down there, however, it wasn't easy, especially out after he got through Mexico, because Mexico wasn't as bad, he said, except for the rip-offs, because people were charging him an arm and a leg for electricity. The way he solved the problem, he would stop at a hotel and get the wiring from the air conditioning of the hotel and hook it up to his battery, because that's the only way he could charge it up.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
So, it's free, though. Robin passes an electric station on the way in, and she said there's more cars there now than ever. I'm thinking eventually people are going to start to have to pay for that electricity. Don't you think? Right now, you just pull up and get a free charge.
And the other thing, one of the other things, because I am certified in alternative fuels, is whether it be electricity, CNG, propane, whatever the alternative fuel is, don't tell nobody this, but there's no tax on it.
So what pays for the roads?
Nothing. That's why there's a big uproar in our government over all this stuff.
That's why when I pull into the rest area, and it says alternative fuel cars here.
Yeah, they make you walk 4 miles.
You're closer. No, you're closer. Yeah. If you have normal gasoline like me, I got to park farther away. Not that I care. But it's like, oh, hello, who's paying for this place?
Exactly.
All right, you have a phone call. Good morning. You're on the air.
Yeah, good morning, guys.
Hey.
Say, Matt, when your brake shoes wear down, there's a built-in system that they make a screeching sound to kind of alert you to the fact that the shoe should be changed. Is that a pretty reliable thing?
Yes, and it's typically not on the shoes. It's typically on pads. So usually, if you have shoes, which there's a lot of cars out there today that don't have drum brakes anymore. Everybody, the most common brakes that we deal with are 4-wheel disc brakes, but on the pad itself, on the brake pad, there is a little sensor, and all it does is it just kind of touches the rotor, and it makes a screeching sound, kind of like running your nails down a finger, chalkboard kind of thing, and it's just an indicator saying, hey, have your brakes checked, have them looked at. Some of the higher end cars actually have brake sensors on there, and they'll turn on a light saying have your brakes checked. But typically, go ahead.
Do you have a little bit of mileage left on them when it starts to squeal like that?
Yeah, they allow you to have a little bit of, you got some time to go and have them checked. And a lot of times, if you hear the squeal and if you touch the brake pedal, the squeal stops. That's just because you're moving that sensor off the rotor for a second. So if you're hearing squealing while you're driving down a road or coming to a stop, definitely have your brakes checked. It'll just save you a bunch of money because you don't want the brake pad to get into the rotor, because then it's just costs you more money to fix it.
What are those pads made of nowadays?
There's all kinds of different materials that they're using. They're using, they got ceramic pads, they got metallic pads. They're done away with the asbestos, and they're constantly out there trying to. Wagner's a big brake company, and a lot of the brake companies, Robestus, they try to. They keep engineering and changing and putting different material in their brake pads to keep them from squealing and getting hot and all kinds of stuff. But yeah. I recommend what we do at Sunrise. We try to always. There's different brake pads, there's different prices. So we always try to go with something that is going to give the customer the service that is required for that car. Whatever the OEM, whatever the manufacturer or recommends, that's typically where we go. And then if someone says, hey, I just don't have the money for those, is there anything you can do? We do have another line of brake pads, but typically what will happen is they won't last near as long as the ones that the manufacturer recommends.
Yeah, if you're hauling a good-sized boat or a trailer or something, would you recommend like a heavy-duty pad or something that's got more strength?
Well, a lot of the cars now, again, a lot of the vehicles, especially when it comes to trucks and stuff, they offer towing packages. So they may have dual piston calipers. They may have, instead of the 10-inch rotor, they may have a 14-inch rotor, and so. That package, that truck, if it comes with a trailering package, it comes with the heavy-duty cooler. It comes with the hitch already on it. It comes with heavier-duty brakes. They come from the factory that way.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Matt, are you looking for an automotive tech? I heard you and Dan talking before. Are you looking for some help?
Well, I'm shorthanded right now just because I have one of my guys he got married.
Ah, okay.
So he's on a little cruise until next week.
Oh, okay. So temporary help you need, or not really?
No, I'm good.
Oh, okay.
It's just we're working a little bit extras this last couple of weeks.
Air conditioning too, right?
Oh Lord, air conditioning is just crazy.
We have another phone call. Good morning. You're on the air with Matt.
Yeah. Good morning. Good morning. I went down to Winter Park. Earlier this month, early in the year, and they have some electric charging stations around the town, and I guess the city put them there, and you got to put in a credit card or a debit card in order to get them to work.
Oh, really? Do they charge?
Yeah, in both senses of the word.
Okay.
Yeah.
Larry made it funny. Didn't even realize it.
I didn't realize it.
Free
Right.
in Winter Park. I don't know how much it costs because I don't have an electric car, but apparently it's reasonable.
Okay, I know it's free in a lot of them. I didn't know if the card was just to identify who's using it or not.
Yeah. And then at my college in upstate New York, and also at the State University in Potsdam, again, you have to put a credit card or a debit card in it to use it. But
parking too.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Jim.
Yeah,
even Ocala, you can use. You don't have to use, but you can use your credit card to pay the parking meter.
Yeah. Well, Robin just came in and gave me a little piece of paper, and it says that one of our listeners just called and wants to know about Joey.
Oh, okay.
So I'll just give everybody a quick update. He was home this last weekend for 4 days. He came home to see his girlfriend graduate, and he's doing awesome. He'll be in 7 different states in 7 different weeks, and traveling from the East Coast to the West Coast and competing, and just really doing an awesome job at the University of Illinois, and hopefully his training, his education, and everything will bring him far. So he's doing really good.
He's a blessing and a miracle, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
And he's a normal kid because he spent more time with his girlfriend than with Daddy.
Yeah, he's a normal kid. I got to see him for a whole hour in 4 days.
The air conditioner isn't putting out cold air. Go see Matt. He can fix it, even though he's busy, but he will fix it.
Oh, absolutely.
News Radio, I'm Pam Puso. An 8-year-old girl is among the 22 people dead in Manchester, England, where a bomb targeting concert goers outside an arena went off last night.
Police here saying they've been searching 2 addresses, including one where a controlled explosion took place. They've also arrested a 20